Hey guys, so I posted a poll on my Instagram story about 5 days ago, and I asked if you guys wanted to see what was going on with my body, and so 100% of you said you wanted to. So I figured I would come on YouTube instead of posting it on my Instagram story, just because it's going to be a little long-winded, and I figure there's probably a lot of you that could benefit from this information, and yeah, so basically I will start from the beginning. I had just finished a bulk with my coach from Team Hex, and I started around October, and then I finished my bulk in about March, like the end of March. And so I was super excited to start my cut because I wanted to shed that fat that I had gained so I could see all the muscle that I had built up. I also had a Cabo trip coming up, well, I still do, and that's gonna be in June, so I really wanted to look shredded. Like, who doesn't want to look shredded for the beach? So I started my cut, and that was like around April, beginning of April, and I was doing that with my coach from Team Hex, and we reduced my macros by just a little bit, because you don't want to start a cut and just drastically drop carbs or any sort of macronutrient right from the get-go, because you won't have a place to drop if you are not seeing progress. So we dropped our macros by just a little bit, and then added maybe like 5-10 minutes of cardio, more so than I had already been doing. So did that, body wasn't responding for a week, continued on it because sometimes it takes a while for your body to respond. After 6 weeks of trying to cut, I had started around like 2,000 calories all the way down to 1,600, doing 2 HIIT sessions a week plus like 2 missed sessions a week, and I was up a pound from my starting weight. So I was like, obviously something's wrong with me. So I went to go get a blood test done, and my results came back, and I was low on my T3 and T4 hormone of my thyroid. So that meant that I had hypothyroidism, and I didn't know much about it, so I did some more research, and I found out that it is this little butterfly-shaped gland within your throat area, and it basically controls your metabolism, it controls your digestive system, it has effects on your hair, skin, nails, and so it was totally affecting my body in ways that I didn't even understand. So then I went to a specialist all the way in Diamond Bar, but I had heard about him from another girl on Instagram who had hypothyroidism, and she benefited from his methods and his supplements and his diagnoses in just a month. And so I was really hopeful, and I went there, and he was amazing. He sat me down, he looked through my results and said, "You are not borderline like your previous doctor said, you are super low for both T3 and T4. And in addition to being hypothyroid, you are estrogen dominant, so you have low progesterone, and your adrenal glands are completely shot." So I had adrenal fatigue, high on estrogen, and I had low hypothyroidism, or low thyroid. So there were a lot of symptoms that I was having that I didn't necessarily attribute to low thyroid. So there are a ton of symptoms because your thyroid affects everything in your body. So the first thing that I experienced was obviously not necessarily weight gain, because I was busting my ass in the gym and eating way less calories than my body needed, but I was up a pound. So if I hadn't been doing any of my working out or eating less than my maintenance calories, I probably would have gained a significant amount of weight. So weight gain is number one. And next was fatigue. I was beyond exhausted, and it's not like you ask somebody how you're doing and they're like, "Oh, I'm tired today. Oh, I need an extra cup of coffee." It was like I woke up feeling like my ligaments and everything was just, they were like tied to weights. Like everything felt heavy on me. I was so exhausted, especially after my afternoon meal. I would like literally go into a coma. Constipation. My digestive system has just been out of whack for so long, and I've always had a problem with bloating. So like I had kind of attributed that to just maybe I had a food insensitive or sensitivity, or like an allergy that hadn't been diagnosed yet. But I guess this is another symptom of low thyroid and not being able to digest food properly, becoming constipated, not having regular bowel movements, and these were all things that I was experiencing. The biggest thing that I've had for a really long time, for as long as I can remember, is cold hands and cold feet. Like if I'm shaking somebody's hand, they're like, oh, your hands are always so cold. I always thought that was normal for me. My feet were always so cold, but those are definitely symptoms of low thyroid as well. Heavier than normal or irregular menstrual periods. Depression, I've dealt with depression in the past where I've had to go on prescription for it. Definitely mood swings that I deal with, that my husband has to deal with. And I always just thought that it was just a symptom of like PMS. The other symptom that a lot of people have talked about, and from what I've read, is brain fog, where you just can't think straight. You're just not all there. And so those are just like the symptoms that I've had to deal with. And I'm hoping that the supplements and medication that my doctor has prescribed will definitely counteract those symptoms and get my thyroid functioning at optimal levels, so I can ultimately start a cut and feel better about my body and where I'm at. So there are a lot of supplements. I'm gonna first start out with what I was taking before I went to see the specialist, and that is holy basil and ashwagandha. So both are natural supplements. Ashwagandha is really good for like a stress reducer, and then holy basil also, actually it says promotes centered calmness. I was also taking CBD from Cured Nutrition. This is the 250 milligram CBD. Is that going to focus? There we go. This is the mint flavored tincture. It's 2 droppers, and I would take this at night because there's nothing that CBD can't cure. I went to Sprouts and I picked up this natural thyroid supplement, and basically is full of vitamins and minerals that most people who are low on thyroid are low on. And so it includes iodine, selenium, copper, manganese, ashwagandha, which I already take. And so I just figured it wouldn't hurt for me to start taking these. Those are the supplements that I was taking before I went to see the specialist. And so after I got back from seeing the specialist, he told me that I have low thyroid. So he wanted to put me on a medication just to treat my T4, which is the non-active part of your thyroid, and the T4 converts to the T3, and T3 is the active component of your thyroid. So if my T4 is not functioning, then I don't even need to test or treat my T3, because I need to treat my T4 first. So that's what we're doing for this first month, and then we will do another blood test, which he has scheduled me for another blood test so I can test for Hashimoto's. Hashimoto's is a version of hypothyroidism, but it is an autoimmune disorder that is transferred genetically, and both my grandma and my aunt have Hashimoto's, so it doesn't look good for me, but I have faith that I can treat my symptoms with what I have been prescribed so far. Next is my medication, levothyroxine. I take a small pill in the morning. They say to take it before you take your other minerals and supplements, because some minerals and supplements can interfere with your thyroid medication doing its job. They also say that some foods can do that, like coffee and food with fiber and cruciferous vegetables that are not cooked or steamed or boiled down. Next supplement, let's see here. So I take 1 dropper of these trace minerals, and these trace minerals are called trace minerals because your body only needs a trace amount of them. It's a dropper, it's a little salty, but I take that and I mix it in with my natural colon cleanser. So this stuff is a combination of a lot of different things that the specialist put together. It's his own brand. But so far, so good. I really like this combo, and I think that my body has benefited from it as far as digestion and bloating. My bloating has gone down significantly, and I've only been taking this combo for like 6 days. So take my rhodiola complex, and this I take once a day in the morning. Adrenal support, take 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. And progesterone, I will be taking this upcoming week, and this will just help me regulate my cycle a little bit more. So with all this crap, I had to get a pill organizer. So I got this from CVS, and it's just helping me stay organized, making sure that I'm taking all my pills when I need to take them. Staying positive about it all. In the beginning, it was obviously really difficult for me to digest, just because like fitness is my life. I'm a personal trainer on the side, and I just love going to the gym because it challenges me and it pushes me. I'm able to see how far I can go in building muscle and cutting down. Like, I just love the challenge. And so starting this cut, like after 6 weeks of just literally busting my butt, I was like going hard, I was skipping out on social events, I was staying super true to my macros, and I felt like I was just running ragged. And after all of that, to know that my body was working against me the entire time, and to know that there's nothing I can do about it but regulate it through, hopefully, supplements and medication, was just really difficult for me to understand. So the first week of the diagnosis, I was just a wreck. And so I'm sure a lot of you who have dealt with thyroid issues or are dealing with them, or maybe have these symptoms but have not been diagnosed, are going through the same challenges that I am. But I'm hopeful that these supplements and medication will work in my favor and get my thyroid level up to an optimal level. And then my plans after that would be to start like a cut so I can just feel better about myself. So I will insert a clip here just to show you my current physique. I am still doing check-ins with my coach and just making sure that there is some accountability in terms of keeping on my macros and my cardio, just so I can maintain my weight where it's at and not like gain a crap ton of weight. So if you guys have any questions for me about my own experience, or whether I've experienced other symptoms that maybe you're going through, feel free to message me on Instagram. You can send me a direct message or down in the comments below. And if I get a lot of responses, I might as well just do like a Q&A, or if you're interested in staying up to date on my progress, then just leave a comment down below. So, hope this was helpful, hope you learned something, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.